Welcome to Drawing with Vince Mancuso. Well, as you can see here, I've got my three mannequin heads, one from a frontal view and the left and right at 3/4, looking in opposite direction. So I'm going to use these mannequins as my template, and I'm going to demonstrate how to create male and female heads using the rule of opposites. Okay, so this is a simple idea. It is a conceptual idea. Reality is more complicated. Okay, human beings aren't simply male or female, right? They have a kind of more of a gray area, more of a cross blend. Okay, but for our purposes, we're going to create this very black and white, very binary idea, because this gives us the formula or the framework where we can clearly define male and female characteristics. And then as we get good and competent, we can start to interchange them and create characters and create variations and create mixes and matches, right? But first you got to capture the simple idea of the rule of opposites, how to translate it onto the mannequin head. So here we go. So, the idea with the male hormones versus female, male hormones make things larger, bigger, more aggressive, bones are sharper, more angular. And one of the key places where that shows up on the male head, and it's no coincidence, right? It's in the brow, right? Or in the brow bone or the brow line that creates the canopy for the eyes. For example, when we're drawing the male heads, that brow is severe. It's hard, it's angular, it's turned downward. Okay, it creates shadows, dark shadows. Right. This is characteristic of superheroes and leading men in Hollywood. You get this kind of severe brow, shadowy eyes, a slitty look in the eyes. They appear to be a little closer together. Makes the man look more mysterious, more aggressive, more dangerous, right? This kind of scenario, this kind of brow, quality, right? So it's larger, it hangs over, it casts shadows, right? It makes the eyes look smaller. Okay, so then when we move to the nose sort of tucks in behind there, and the male nose is a larger nose. It is at right angle to the facial mask, okay, or turned downward slightly. Bigger, more aggressive bald tip, right? A septum underneath. And then it kind of has that turn, right? The mouth is just simply, with a male, like a straight line for the upper lip. There's almost no upper lip at all, right? It's very, very subtle quality. And then a thin bottom lip. Strong chin. Very boxy and more angular. Okay. The upper jaw, the upper cheekbone, right? More severe, kind of angular, kind of cut. Everything's more chiseled, more angular, more large, more aggressive in the male. And the female takes on the opposite characteristics, right? There it is. You can see the sort of manly man image starting to take shape. Okay, and and here there's no hair, there's no makeup, then we're just talking about the structure, a fundamental structure of the mannequin head, the skull. Okay. All right. I'm just going to finish this up here. I drop in some shadows on the side of the nose just to complete that face. Yeah, great. Okay, so now I'm going to take that mannequin away, and you can see here in my underpinning, the framework that's starting to define the qualities characteristic or indicative of the male. You got a guy's guy, a football player, a superhero, right? You've got that kind of feel, very distinctly male. No mistaking the look and the feel here. Okay? Now I'm going to use the rule of opposites, and I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to create a distinctly feminine head. So now the brow in the female is less severe. It's more gentle. It doesn't, slope aggressively in an angular way. It's more rounded. Okay, so now I'm drawing the eyebrows more open. Okay, so I'm creating this kind of rounded, more open form around that brow structure. Okay, now the moment I do that, look what happens. And with the female, less is more. Okay, if I add too many lines, she starts looking aged and not like a inner prime. And the male's different. He sort of, as I add lines and stuff like that, he kind of develops more character. So here now, I sort of drop the eyeball. Now, because the eye socket is more open, the eyeball starts to look further apart. And there's this kind of largeness. Right? The female eye just kind of starts to look a little larger in its size and in its proportion. And really it's not. It's just because the eyes are more open. You get this feeling that the eyes look larger. Okay, I'm just gonna give her eyelashes a little longer. Male eyelashes are shorter, smaller. Female a little longer. Right, more characteristic. Okay. Now there's still shadow in here, right where the turn happens for the underpass of the brow. But this is all softer. Even the way that the nose turns, it turns more gently as it comes down to the ball tip. And at the ball tip, the nose is turned upward. Okay, very important that we see underneath the nostrils of the female nose. Very important. Okay, we're looking upward. The lips are not as wide, but fuller. Okay, so we've got to get full lips starting to happen, and we get that feeling. We start to get that real pretty feminine kind of quality. The head, the brow turns softly into the forehead, turns softly into the brow and comes around the head. Less blemishes, a cleaner form, right? With less angles and severity is feminine, right? The jawline now turns softly, not aggressively, to the bottom of the chin, and then the bottom of the chin has a sort of an ovid form that goes up, and once again, from the side of the head, the cheekbone rolls in, and we go over under, right? And we get this kind of characteristic of a handsome female head. There we go. And with the female, less is more. Keep it simple, right? Apply those features, right? Keep them clean, right? More sensitive to the subtlety, a little smaller, a little softer. See, the female nose is a little narrower, all of that kind of stuff. The mouth is a little narrower, but the lips are a little fuller. And now you've got a feminine characteristic. Let's take a look at that. There you go. Very unmistakable differences. I'll just lessen that chin a little bit there. Just soften up the severity there on the cheekbone. There's our female. Okay, very clear gender separation. Very cool. Okay, so remember, the proportions are constant. But using the rule of opposites and understanding that female hormones create softer, more delicate tissue, curvier bones, not as angular, not as harsh. Male hormones, make things overgrown. This is why they get bigger, larger muscles, and they're generally a larger animal than the female, kind of scenario, right? And if you remember those rules and you apply them, you can then get proficient and comfortable enough that you can start mixing, matching, and creating all kinds of character types. And now you can start to invent, specific personalities and specific characters. So remember the rule of opposites, right? What's true for one is opposite for the other, and you should be good to go. Have fun. Remember, speed is God, and through repetition, the quality catches up. Ciao for now.